Hey everyone, how's it going today, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, what I really want to do is try to take a revisit once again to talk a little bit about what's been going on in the UK. As most of you guys know, is that right now at this time they are undergoing a lot of different issues, both politically and economically. And why this is particularly important is because even if you don't happen to live in the UK, say for example you're in the United States, which is where I know most people are, it is relatively important because a lot of the things that's going on there can very much potentially also happen in the US. And at the end of the day, there's actually already a lot of things that are happening in the UK that are already happening in the US as well. Obviously, they're going through it even more severe than we are. We are both going through incredible inflation, increasing interest rates, a lot of different political and economic related issues, everything that's really going to be tied together. But it's actually because they are going through something a lot more severe than us. Hopefully by watching through this video and really understanding what's going on, we can kind of try to use this to learn something so that we don't have to go through what they're going through right now. And I think that's the most important thing. So today's update is going to be an even deeper dive where I really just want to talk about Liz Truss's resignation, why she ultimately ended up resigning, and a little bit more details about what's been going on there lately. I did make another video about what's been going on there just as like a very big picture, so I highly recommend checking that video out. It's literally just called UK's Falling. It's going to be at the end screen on the bottom, but you can watch this in any order. So of course, with that being said, we are going to get started. Oh, but as always, real fast before we begin, same exact drill as always. Remember to smash the like button. If you guys hopefully enjoy videos, consider subscribing, hitting the bell. And as always, feel free to comment any questions, personal thoughts. If you are watching this on release date, hoping every single person have a really incredibly great, happy Halloween week. Or if you're watching this in the future, it's probably going to be the holidays. So huge, happy holidays. And with that being said, let's get this video started. So when it comes to the story of Liz Truss and what's going on there right now, the really fast answer is that she just pretty much implemented a lot of policies that just didn't fully make sense. And because of that reason, you can even just say, just pun intended, that she basically lost the trust of her very own party. And that's really the story of Liz Truss. But the longer and more in-depth answer to it is that what really ended up happening is that when she really started her term, her biggest goal was, or at least the biggest plan that she had, was that she wanted to try to focus on decreasing taxes among the rich people, but also increasing government spending. The problem is that if you decrease the taxes from rich people, then it means the government physically has less money. So where are they going to get the money to physically spend? And that was really the first of many different parts that she really kind of made a lot of mistakes on, just objectively speaking, and just from a lot of people's eyes and perspective. The other big issue right now over there, and this is something that maybe is very relatable to the US, is that there's also a very huge wealth gap situation going on there right now. So the problem is that over there right now in the UK, there is an incredible situation right now where inflation has just skyrocketed to extreme means that has made it very difficult to make a living there and to really be able to survive. So to make matters even worse, when you're kind of in a situation where the poor people are already struggling, but the rich people are doing fine, but you're now trying to give benefits to the rich people so that they don't have to pay as many taxes, but then while leaving a lot of the people that are genuinely struggling behind, this is not a very good formula. And that's the second reason, or the second incident of what really ended up happening to Liz Truss that's causing a lot of conflict right now, or that caused a lot of the conflict that was going on between her and her political party and the entire country together. And continuing all of these different policies, the biggest idea is that she really just tried to implement something called the mini budget. It was something that was proposed by Kwarteng. Hopefully I pronounced his name correctly. It's You know, it's a really complicated, it's a really unique name, which is cool in its own way. But when she tried to implement the mini budget, what really ended up happening is that there was just a lot of different conflicts that was going on. For example, these are several graphs that really just represent how the economy was doing as soon as that budget was implemented. What really ended up happening is it even led Kwarteng to end up actually having to resign because of what had happened. And then when Jeremy Hunt took over in the office as the new finance minister, Jeremy Hunt specifically, had to pretty much reverse all of these programs. Now, what's really cool is as you can look at these graphs, you can kind of observe notice how after she was elected, everything kind of plummeted. But now today, at least you are starting to see things start to kind of casually recover again. Obviously, there is still a lot of work that still has to be done, but you are still seeing recovery, certainly compared to when she was still in office. So that obviously covers the third situation about why she really had to resign. Now, the fourth situation and reason about why she really ultimately had to resign in the end is really because of the conflict within her own political party now. So what this really means is, or the specific detail and explanation to this, is that pretty much as soon as the country started to lose trust, again, pun intended, to physically everything that she was doing, it also kind of destroyed the reputation, or certainly ruined a lot of things that the Conservative Party was really doing. Very, very similar to America, how you have the Democratic Party, you have the Republican Party. In the UK, they have their own kind of versions of different parties as well. So the situation is that the Conservative Party, which is the party that Liz Truss is a part of, what really ended up happening is that because they saw that their reputation was going down, what it also meant is that it was a massive danger to everyone else in her party, because if she ruins her own, which she already did technically, but if she ruins her reputation even further, potentially it's going to spill over. So now it's also going to ruin the entire reputation of her party as well. And now it becomes a thing where a lot of the positions or the people in power in her own party, their position is also going to be in line, because in this situation now they're also going to struggle to gain the votes to be able to stay in power when the elections come. So in order to not just save themselves from what was going on, but to save themselves from what was happening as a result of Liz Truss, they had to ultimately try to make plans to remove her before she made things even worse. So as a result, what ended up happening is that they already made plans to try to see if there was a way to replace her. They already kind of brainstorm who could potentially be her successor. But in the end, out of ease, that's what kind of ultimately ended up forcing her to decide to resign before any of those moves that we just mentioned could be made. She decided to just pretty much walk out on her own will. Obviously, it was kind of a pressured, forced situation, but nonetheless, on her will that she decided to finally resign. Now, what is the future really going forward from here is that the big news is that now that she's officially resigned, we do have new people inside. For example, Rishi Sunak is the new prime minister. He was recently just elected or put inside of power. And I think the big idea is that between him and Jeremy Hunt, who is the finance minister, they're hoping to finally just reverse everything that was going on during that situation. And you're already starting to see it and try to build it back again. So in other words, it's kind of their own build back better plan, but obviously they have a different name for it. But it's their own plan that they're trying to do in order to try to come back once again. And I think that's really the big thing. The biggest focus is that they really just have to deal with a lot of the inflation just like us. They have to deal with interest rates just like us. They have to deal with themselves economically just like us. Obviously, again, more severe, but nonetheless is still very, very much true. And they have to also solve a lot of things about the wealth gap, and this is the part that might potentially relate to stimulus, because the story is that because right now there's a lot of people that are in need over there because of what's going on with the increased cost that's making it really, really difficult to make a living there. And we're starting to kind of see it here as well, or we've been seeing it here as well, just not to their particular degree. And the hope is that whether this comes in the form of stimulus, other government programs, or support, it's the biggest focus that they really have to think about trying to solve right now at this time. And that's really the future plans of what they have going forward from here. But of course, what they ultimately end up doing, how UK hopefully recovers soon, everything, all that, we're gonna have to hopefully see in one of the future episodes of The Kevin Show. So with that being said, that's pretty much what I really just wanted to talk about in today's video. So if you guys found that relatively insightful, as always, remember to smash the like button, consider subscribing and hitting the bell as we get more information, and also about other kinds of financial related videos. There are links to cool stuff in the description below. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to leave a comment. Stay safe, stay well. Happy Halloween week, or happy holidays if you're watching this in the future, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much again.